Hello and good morning. My name is Muhammad Adhan Hakimi bin Muhammad Rusdi. Today, my group and I will present about the project presentation video task, which require us to conduct an initial ergonomic risk assessment or initial era. For this study, we choose the NS Blue Scope Lyset Malaysia Sdn Bhd, which currently operates at Section 16 Shah Alam. On 1857, the Lyset Company was founded by John Lyset in Bristol, England. Earlier, the company only focusing on galvanizing corrugated steel sheeting. After saw the demand of the steel, the company expand their business in Australia and known as John Lyset Australia Pty Ltd. Next, the company rebrand in 2003 and becomes BlueScope Lyset, where the current operation of this company is prominent steel manufacturer using roll forming techniques. And next, in Malaysia, NS BlueScope presents since 1968 as a pioneering roll former. NS BlueScope Lyset Malaysia manufacture a wide range of steel building products, where the products include classic corrugated roof, 3D cladding, composite metal decking, and light gauge structural components. The company also focusing on wide range of roofing products, engineering solution for roofing, walling, structural application, and system solution.
Hello, my name is Norish binti Muhammad Azhari. I will explain economic issues at NS Blue Scope Lyset Malaysia. During our last visit to the company, we found out that there were three economic issues available at the company. Firstly is repetitive motion. It is when repeatedly doing the same movement, which can cause injuries like muscle or joint pain. Next is awkward posture, which means when the positions of body is unnatural or uncomfortable, that can lead to discomfort or injury. And lastly is static and sustained work posture, which means when the body is staying in the same position for a long time, inducing muscle tiredness and discomfort. Next, at workstation 1, we found that there was a task involving repetitive motion as shown in the picture. The picture shows a man that is repeatedly transferring the final product from the workbench to the packaging area. This task can result in many economic risks, such as discomfort, muscle fatigue, and inflammation. Discomfort may happen due to unnatural position, as we can see in the picture. This can limit the worker's range of motion that is important to allow him to perform task flexibly. After that, muscle fatigue can happen due to this repetitive motion, which could affect the efficiency of the worker to perform tasks. Then, worker may also face inflammation due to this repetitive motion, resulting in spine and neck problems. Next, we go to the analysis of this repetitive motion. Firstly, the task involves repetitive sequence of the movement more than twice per minute, so it gives 1 yes. Then, the work also involving intensive use of the finger, hands, and wrists, so it gives another 1 yes. And lastly, the work involving continuous shoulder and arm movement, giving another 1 yes. Hence, the total yes score is 3, that is more than 1, meaning that an advanced assessment is needed. Next, we go to prevention action for this repetitive motion of tasks. Firstly, based on the hierarchy of control, it is better to apply engineering control by redesigning the workspace. For example, the distance between the workbench and the packaging area can be reduced to minimize the need for excessive bending. Then, ergonomic chairs can also be put to the workstation to ensure that workers can sit comfortably while working. After that, administrative control can also be applied by allowing the worker to have a regular break to give time to the worker to rest and recover. Then, job rotation between workers can also be done to prevent the worker from too long exposure to the repetitive motion. Lastly, training program on proper lifting techniques can also be provided to workers to promote safe work practices.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Nazam Shami bin Saudi, and today I will be presenting the upward posture that we have managed to found in workstation 1. Okay, so from this picture, This is the awkward posture that we have managed to address during our site visit, where the worker need to reach the product from the higher conveyor and transfer it to the lower one. For the ergonomic risk, which may affect the worker, there are two ergonomic risks, which is increased muscle strain and also joint stress. For increased muscle strain, it was happen due to awkward posture, which may force muscle to work harder to maintain stability of the worker, which can lead to muscle fatigue, soreness, and also tightness. And for joint stress, when the joint are held in a position due to the worker awkward posture, surrounding tissues are compressed, which can lead to pain, inflammation, and even damage the joint itself. And then for the initial error form, this is the initial error form that has been filled based on the job that has been done by the worker. And the total yes score for awkward posture are only 2, which may not need an advanced assessment because the minimum requirement for awkward posture was 6. And lastly, for the prevention action for this worker job, firstly, based on engineering control, they can redesign the workspace and also provide lifting equipment which can help the worker transfer the product from the higher conveyor to the lower one. And based on administrative control, they can give the worker regular break and also give job rotation. Okay, and that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nadia Akma and I will explain about Workstation 2. For the first part of Workstation 2, the activity we found was repetitive motion. The task in this part is the workers perform critical tasks of loading and unloading goods from trucks essential to industrial logistics. So, the ergonomic risk that we discovered is musculoskeletal disorders, where lifting and carrying can lead to tendinitis or bursitis due to overuse of muscles and tendons, then back injuries and fatigue. For ergonomic risk factors for repetitive motion, there are 5 criteria that we need to check. Based on the checklist table, there are 3 physical risk factors was occurred in this task. When there are 3 tick, which is more than 1, thus an advanced assessment is needed. So, as the prevention for this repetitive motion for elimination control is elimination of manual handling. Automate the loading process with robotic systems to remove the need for manual lifting. Then outsourcing. Other than that, for isolation control, includes loading docks to protect workers from environmental conditions and remote control equipment such as pallet jacks to allow workers operate them from a safe distance, minimizing direct handling of heavier items. Next, the second part of Workstation 2 is static and sustained work posture. The task of this part is the workers are moving heavy goods using forklifts to be loaded and unloaded from trucks. So, the ergonomic risk that we found is neck stiffness from constant forward gazing, lower back pains from prolonged sitting, and leg discomfort from limited movement. So, for ergonomic risk factors for this work posture, there are 3 criteria that we need to check. Based on the checklist table, there are 2 physical risk factors was occurred in this task, which more than 1, thus an advanced assessment is needed. As the prevention action for this work posture, from administrative control is task rotation. Rotate employees between different tasks to reduce the duration of static posture. Schedule breaks, where implement regular breaks to allow workers to rest. And policy implementation, where develop policies that limit the duration of continuous work in static postures and encourage movement. Other than that, from engineering control, we can implement ergonomic seating and frequent breaks.
Hi, and I'm Wan Abdul Aziz Siddiqui bin Wan Mama Asri will present to you about the initial era form. So for this at the workstation 1, there's only two risk factors that give a result to the initial era, which are the awkward posture and the repetitive motion. So for the awkward posture, the workers are working with arm extended forward more than 2 hours per day, and the workers are working with back bend forward more than 2 hours per day. So for the awkward posture, uh, no needs advanced era since it is not exceed the minimum required for advanced assessment, which is 6. Next, for the repetitive motion, the workers work involving a repetitive sequence, work involving intensive use of fingers, hands or wrists, and work involving repetitive shoulder or arm movement. So for this repetitive motion, it is required to do the advanced assessment since it's already exceed the minimum required, which is equal or more than 1, where the repetitive motion get the result of initial error with 3. At the workstation 2, there's also two risk factors that give a result to the initial error, which are the static and sustained work posture and also repetitive motion. So for the static and sustained work posture, the workers work in static awkward position and work in a seated position with minimal movement more than 30 minutes, as you can see in the pictures. Then for the repetitive motion, the workers are work involving repetitive sequence, work involving intensive use of fingers, hand or wrist, and lastly work involving repetitive shoulder or up movement. So both of the risk factor are required to do advanced assessment since they exceed more than 1, which are their minimum required. So next we are going to discuss about the process of to do the advanced era. So since both of the workstation 1 and 2 exceed the minimum requirement, so they are going to proceed to the advanced era. So the first step is to review initial era and adequacy of existing control measure, where the management should identify the control measure implemented and assess if the existing control measure are adequate. The information should be included in the advanced era report. Next, the second step is to gather the additional information, where the management should obtain the further information for advanced era, such as the history of MSDs, origin of work problem from work related or non-work related, then relevant documents relating to work instructions, and lastly the clinical or medical records. So this also the above information also needs to be included in the advanced era. Next, the third step is to assess the ergonomic risk level. So for the awkward posture, the assessment method is by using the rapid upper limb assessment ruler, rapid entire body assessment, REBA, or VACO working posture analysis system, OWAS. And for the repetitive motion, the ART, which is the assessment of repetitive tasks, occupational repetitive action, OCRA, uh, and also lastly is OCRA checklist. So next, to summarize the findings. So summarize the findings of F1 era to determine appropriate control measure in the form of table. So, the example, the example of the summary, we can include it in the table, such as the work activity, evidence of the MSDs, safety hazard, risk factor, method use, and also lastly the recommendation. So the last step is to the priority for the ergonomic improvement using priority setting table, where this table will be used to determine the priority of the control measure implementation, and where we will prioritize which of the ergonomic improvement should be implemented first. So that's all from us. Thank you.